Hello everyone and welcome to Arcade 92's summer lineup. This is July and we're going to show you what machines we currently have at Arcade 92. So I'm going to do a walkthrough to show you kind of every game we have, but just give you kind of like a broad overview of, who we are. So Arcade 92, we are a retro arcade bar and restaurant. So we've got everything set to free play, so that's no quarters, no tokens. You just come in here and we give you a wristband, play as long as you want, and grab some drinks while you're at it and grab some food while you're at it. So I'm going to go through all these titles so you guys can see what our lineup is like, and then I'll just kind of show you like what our bar looks like. And of course the big thing is we are open early for summer hours right now as well. So let's get started as I'll go walk down. So we just got this one, and I've actually been searching for Burger Time for a long time. So Burger Time is officially here at Arcade 92. Long overdue. Absolutely love this game. So come in and play it soon. Donkey Kong, Spy Hunter, Joust. We've got the 20-year reunion where it's the Miss Pac-Man and Galaga combination, and Tron as well. So loop around here. We've got Dig Dug, Dragon's Lair, Pac-Man, Track and Field, Donkey Kong Jr., and Centipede. And you can see out there we've got a Pong out there on the patio as well, and then a Multicade around the corner there too. So we actually, one fun fact about us is Arcade 92 opened November 29th of 2019. That date is the anniversary of Pong, so that's a very special date for us. So, well, it's pretty much near impossible to have a fully functioning original Pong. We put one multicade out there for everyone to enjoy. So, okay, let's see what else we got here. So, Miss Pac-Man, as you remember, we have the Miss Pac-Man Galaga combo, but we also have this one too, just if you enjoy the authentic 1981 experience. So, Gyrus, Road Blasters, Frogger is always a big hit. Dr. Mario, and one of my favorites, Sinistar. All right, we'll keep it going. We got Defender, Punch-Out, Moon Patrol, Galaga, and also brand new on the floor for July is Roadrunner. So Atari Roadrunner, released in 1985. It's such a fun game. It really keeps you on your toes. But especially if you enjoyed the cartoon, you're gonna love it. So if you this one, not a lot of people have played it, so come check it out if you get a chance to, because it's so great. Millipede as well. And we'll circle around here again. So we got Gauntlet 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Asteroids, Arkanoid, Super Mario Brothers, and another new one for the summer, Tubin. So grab your sunscreen and come on in and play Tubin. So since it's 105 degrees outside, you can actually enjoy some air conditioning while enjoying the Tubin experience. Okay, so Mario Bros. Before they were Super, they were just Mario Bros. Back in 1983. Operation Thunderbolt, which is the sequel to Operation Wolf. But this time you get to do 2 players, so that's one reason we like it. Missile Command, Outrun, where many of us learned how to drive, Robotron 2084, and Q*bert. And then a couple more of our prized possessions over here is Paperboy and Tapper. So, as you can see, I'm the only one in here, well, except for our bartenders getting ready for the day. But we are not open yet, so I try to squeeze these videos in before we open. But I'm running a little behind today, so it's possible some people will start trickling in here while I'm doing this video. So, all right, so let's go down the 90s. So we just left the 80s section, if you notice a trend there. So now we're in the 90s section, which is actually where our name comes from. So in the year 1992, this game right here was released, Mortal Kombat, and is pretty much credited to saving the video game industry. Like, we wouldn't have the video game industry we have today if it wasn't for the events that happened in 1992. And of course, that success of Mortal Kombat was built on the success of Street Fighter II. So Street Fighter II kind of got everyone's attention in 1991, and then everything just started going gangbusters in 1992 with the release of Mortal Kombat. So anyways, if you've ever wondered where our name comes from, 92 is essentially the year the arcades and really the entire video game industry was resurrected. So, okay, so let's keep it going. So again, Mortal Kombat, the original, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, a game that's so fun but did not age well, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, Street Fighter 2, Captain America and the Avengers, Final Fight, Viper Phase 1, and Killer Instinct 2. Doesn't get much more 90s than this. We've got Revolution X. Yes, a video game based on the band Aerosmith. So lots of fun. Really great shoot-'em-up game. Very 90s. Off-Road. So Iron Man's Off-Road. Absolutely love this game. I remember playing this game in like a grocery store. Like this is kind of in the quiet era of the arcades, kind of late 80s, where the arcades kind of died off, but there was still a couple stragglers out there. Off-Road was definitely one of those games. I have tons of memories with this game. Carnival, Terminator Salvation. So this is our gun game lineup, mix of 90s games and early 2000s games. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Aliens Extermination, Star Wars Trilogy, and Aliens Armageddon. Man, this is such a great game. So Aliens Armageddon is going to be like 2014-ish when that was released. And honestly, between Aliens Extermination back in 2006 and this one from 2014, they really kind of kept the arcade industry going, as opposed to just everything defaulting to like a redemption style game. So kudos to these two games for kind of really just keeping the industry going. But of course they're retro now. 2006, goodness, that's almost 20 years ago. 2014, that's a long time ago now. So, okay, let's see. So now we got our 4-player cooperative competitive game. So we got NFL Blitz, The Simpsons, NBA Jam, X-Men, and Sunset Riders. So, and a lot of, again, where our name came from is, what happened in 1992. In the gaming industry, but a lot of it was, if you look here, all these games are 4-player games. That played a major role in bringing everyone back to the arcade, because they were pretty much all at home playing their console games, whether it be like, Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo, or eventually, PlayStation, the original, PlayStation 2, in 99. So anyways, but that all said, the 90s were ripe with what was called the console wars, between Nintendo and Sega, and eventually, Microsoft would enter the works, and Sony would enter the works. So we have those as well, because again, this Arcade 92 is a retro gaming multi-generational experience. So we have it all. So we got Sega Genesis rocking Sonic the Hedgehog here. That's number 2. We've got the original NES running Super Mario Bros. 3. Here's the Super Nintendo running Super Mario World. The original Grand Theft Auto. So if you've played GTA, this is how it all got started on the original PlayStation, and it looks very different from how it looks today. We got another NES here running the original Legend of Zelda. So if you've got the latest Tears of the Kingdom, or if you enjoyed Breath of the Wild, come check out how it all started, man, because the Zelda series has quite the legacy. We've got over here an N64 running GoldenEye. So, yeah, there you go. So that game is such a classic. Look at that. If that doesn't give you some nostalgic chills. There you go. Interesting thing too about GoldenEye is it was released for the N64 and on Nintendo, and it really, the goal was, could a first-person shooter, or a shooter really of any kind, be done on a console? Like, is that possible? And they proved, yes, it is possible. So if you enjoy today's Call of Duty, Fortnite, etc., games like that, you have this game to thank, that GoldenEye proved that it was doable on this platform. Of course, looking back, the graphics look horrendous, but, back in the, late 90s, that blew all of our minds. So, and of course, too, like I said, it's kind of a living museum here, but we got the original Doom rolling on our little mini PC. We've got Wolfenstein 3D on here as well too. So, don't want to leave out the influence that the PC world had. So, all right, a couple other games that we stuck over here. So Tetris, this is a recreation. So for the most part, every game we have here is like fully authentic and back from the era it was created. But this Tetris is a modern one. We had a authentic Tetris. We went through 2 of them. It gets so much play, we couldn't keep up with the repairs to it. But people get pretty aggressive on this one. So to clarify, this is the Atari version of Tetris. So it's very, very similar, like 99% similar to the Nintendo version. But you are doing 2-player. So the difference here is it's 2 players playing at the same time. You're given the same brick simultaneously, so it's whoever organizes better ends up being the winner. So a really unique take on the Nintendo's version of Tetris, but it's a multiplayer version. So we've got these Vuelich stations. So this one has this one's specifically designed for fighting. So we've got like it's running Street Fighter 2 right now, but we've got Street Fighter 3 on here. Pretty much all the versions of Street Fighters. Lots of your Capcom fighting games to play there, and it's, so it's got your fight sticks or Vuelich sticks, so you can play that a little more aggressively than if you were using a controller. And then this is our other Vuelichs here as well. So this has about 30,000 games built into it. So if you can think of a game, it exists on here. So just have one of these so you can. I mean, we've got about 100 games in here. We can't have every game ever made. So we like to have one of those stations in here, Pandora's box, that has pretty much every game made on it. So, all right. So now let's shift gears here a little bit because we're leaving the 90s section. We're getting a little more into the modern gaming section. And that's going to include our pinball machines. So we've got a pretty awesome lineup. We got Jurassic Park, 007's Dr. No, Rush Pinball, Godzilla, Avengers, and our newest addition, Foo Fighters. So Foo Fighters just came in like about a month or so ago, maybe about 2 months ago now. It's the latest release from Stern, and I'm loving it. And again, like obviously I'm a 90s fan, so Foo Fighters is a great 90s band. They're a great band today, so they've got some pretty good staying power. All right, so we got Star Wars: The Mandalorian. We've got Deadpool, Star Wars, The Munsters, and Hot Wheels. All right, so that's the whole pinball lineup. So we've got 11 pins in here, and you may see these little things that we have on top. It's called the Insider Connect by Stern. So basically it's a way for you to track your high scores and kind of compare them against the pinball community. You can see all those over there have it because those are kind of newer machines. All but 3 of our pins. I'm sorry, technically 4 because Hot Wheels is American Pinball, it's not Stern. All but 4 of our pins have the Insider Connect option on them. And pretty much every new pinball made today is going to have that. Again, if it's made by Stern. So, all right, all hail the Queen, Killer Queen. A very much groundbreaking game back from 2017. 10 players, can be played as little as 2 players. But the more players you have, the more enjoyable it is. It has a little bit of a learning curve to it. But after you play about 2 rounds, you'll be fully addicted. We always know people are playing this game all the way over at the bar. You see there's even a wall in the way here. But we hear people yelling. So having a good time when they're playing that. So, all right, so Pac-Man's Battle Royale, 4-player. We've got a Neo Geo over here in the corner. It has a few games on it. So we got Windjammers, Aero Fighters 2, Bust-A-Move, and Metal Slug 3. So you can actually change the game and play whichever one you like. And you can hear all that racket behind me right now. That is none other than Dance Dance Revolution. So I had mentioned like Aliens kind of really saved the gaming industry from going completely redemption. DDR is kind of that same thing. So rhythm games were extremely popular, as well as just kind of the gun games. They really carried the video game industry, the arcade industry, I should say, from really the early 2000s to today. Kind of kept that whole arcade industry going. So, all right, so speaking of which, we got Guitar Hero as well. So Guitar Hero is on that same vein, released in 2009, very popular rhythm game. Can't live without our Guitar Hero. Okay, and then actually this over here, so this is Area 51 Site 4. So this one is like a late 90s, 1998 this was released. This game's actually going to be replaced with something here fairly soon with a much more modern gun game. So I won't give any more specifics because it's kind of a surprise, but that is currently in the works. All right, so last thing to go over, other than going into the bar, behold the esports lounge. So let me back up here so you can kind of see this all together. So lucky number 13, so 13 gaming stations all together with Xboxes and Nintendo Switches. So if you've ever had a LAN party with some of your friends, this is basically what that is. So depending upon the game, there is a scenario where all 13 of these people could all be playing the exact same game at the exact same time, playing together. So, and more realistically, you're playing the same game sitting next to your neighbor, the person just sitting right next to you. But all these have connectability with each other, so you can come as a big old group and play whatever game you want together. So like I said, it's pretty much Xboxes as well as Nintendo Switches. So I'll go through just some of the games we just happen to have on right now. Again, there's a ton of games on each of these, but we got like Fall Guys, Among Us, Minecraft, Gang Beast. This one has like an N64 emulator on it, so it's running games from N64 era. Rocket League, Mario Kart, Overcooked, Super Smash Brothers. I do not know what that game is. Yoshi's Island, maybe? Yeah, let's go with that. So, Pac-Man 99, Unraveled 2, Star Wars Squadron, and of course things like Call of Duty. These are just the games that happen to be on whenever we powered them up this morning. But Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, all those big titles as well. So, all right, so I'm going to walk back up to the bar here real quick. Also kind of give you like the broad overview as we're going. We have plenty of chairs. We can host groups here and parties. You can come like date night. It's just a couple, or guys night, gals night. We have an occupancy of 152, so we can get plenty of people up in here. So, okay, so yeah, we got some people starting to straggle in here. So, and then of course the bar. So here's our bar lineup. Got about a dozen items on draft, and then we have a full bar too. You can see the liquor options we have up there. So your various vodkas and whiskeys and gins and all tequilas and all that stuff. So we've got some signature cocktails, but we could pretty much make 90% of the stuff you can think of. But we do have about 18 signature cocktails, all inspired by the video game industry. So make sure you try those out as well. And of course, we have food too. So we have like pizzas, wings, burgers, chicken strips. So, and appetizers and desserts as well. So, got a pretty good setup here. And like I said, we're open extended summer hours. So Monday through Thursday, we're open from 11 to 11 when normally we would not have opened till 3. So we open pretty early. Then on Friday and Saturday, it's going to be 11 a.m. To 1 a.m. So if you want a late night activity to do, we got you covered. And then Sundays are 11 to 11. So. And again, it's just $12. So $12, we give you a wristband, and you stick around and play as long as you want to, and have a great time. And if you were a kid or a young adult in the 90s, you're going to love this place. If you missed that era, then it's a great time to come in and experience, what I'm of course going to have a opinion on, that the greatest decade that humankind has ever experienced is the 90s. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, if you don't see a game in here that you want us to hunt down, pop it in the comments, and we are always on the hunt. All right, and again, our slogan here at Arcade 92 is "It's time to play again." So that is a call for people, like specifically adults. Like really, we're kind of an adult playground, right? Like with the nostalgic experience, to make time to play. So it's time to play again. It's not going to happen naturally. You got to schedule it. It's good for you. Come relive such a glorious time and relive the arcade era. So we'll see you soon, and come on in early now that we're open for summer hours.